everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Back Alley Chat. I am so excited to finally be putting this out for you all. And nonetheless, for our first episode, I have a wonderful, beautiful woman, Victoria. And you guys are going to get to hear a little bit of her story today. And she's going to come back to tell us a lot more about it. But we're going to be diving into some serious issues, from Tranq to alcohol to the importance of breath work, working in treatment. We got some tales that y'all are never going to forget in this episode. That is for sure. I think you're going to really enjoy it. But the real highlight of the show is really this badass woman in recovery, Victoria. So she's a Long Island native. You guys are going to be able to tell that right away by her accent. And I hope you enjoy it. Since it's the first episode, comment down below what you want to see in the future and what you enjoyed about this episode. And I promise we're going to read all your feedback. And I'm so excited to be on this journey with you all. Remember, this is our podcast. We can do whatever we want. Our goal is to have individuals on here to inspire everybody that listens to know that they can do whatever they want to do, as long as they get up and believe in themselves and do it. We have individuals that are, 10-time convicted felons who are making real changes in their communities. And I just want everyone to know that they can do that too if they want to. We're the only things that hold us back. So with that being said, everybody enjoy today's episode. Like, comment, give us some feedback, and go like us on Instagram, Back Alley Chat. Love you guys so much. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Back Alley Chats. I kept saying welcome back to Back Alley Chats, and it was like messing me up. So welcome to Back Alley Chats. So happy to have you all here today. I'm happy to be here today because I flew here from work. I had a day, and I knew Victoria was coming to meet me in the studio, and she's just so funny and is like such a breath of fresh air that I need right now. So I'm excited to let her talk for most of this podcast and listen to what she has to say. We originally met how long ago were we at?
It had to be roughly 5 years ago.
Talk real close to the mic.
All right. So it was definitely 5 years ago. I would say we met first through Ron.
Yeah.
Through treatment. Yeah. Work. And yeah, that was the first time we met. And then you came south and I stayed there in West Palm. So yeah. And here we are reunited.
Yeah. And so I remember one of the first times I saw you again, I was like, what have you been up to? And you're like, I'm doing virtual therapy. And I was like, well, you're like a clinician? You're like, no.
I'm doing family therapy.
Can you tell me how that works again? Can you explain to the people? Because I always say a lot of people watch this podcast that have similar backgrounds to us, and they're always looking for what they can do for work. And
okay, yes. So perfect. So
tell us how you did it without a degree.
So COVID hit.
Or what degree do you have?
I have a degree in forensic psychology.
A bachelor's?
Yes.
Okay.
So I studied the deviant brain while I was being a deviant. So I figured that I should know how to do this really well. And then COVID happened. So it's not really therapy. So let's take that out. But it's basically being, I guess the family advocate, right?
Okay.
So the person has to be a client in the program. It's a 52-week program. It's from home.
Wow.
Which
2 weeks.
To me, I would have never gotten clean ever if you let me get clean in my house.
No.
So that whatever, but they could sign whoever they love up for, sessions, and they would meet with me, and they were never ready for me, but I kept it as honest as I could. And it was good for the time being, right? Everybody was kind of working virtually. I was meeting all new people. I feel terrible for Boston. That's where technically everybody was, but they got hit really hard. I mean, it was, I feel like I heard more about Boston people dying than I've ever heard, honestly. So wow. I really feel for Boston in a major way. I don't think there's enough service. But and then I was like, okay, I can't do this because it's like giving hope to a really not lifeless situation, but you can't really tell a mom or a grandma to not care about their grandchild and their son, right? It's don't be so full of them because you're empty of you. It's like, this is their person, right? Especially moms. I would have moms calling me crying all day. And it's like, I already have difficulty with boundaries, and now I have to really enforce them. And it's like, I don't want to leave this woman in this state. But, I would say 7 out of 10 times their child might die, right? And I'm the only person that they have to talk to. So it was a really, I couldn't do it much longer. It was kind of difficult.
Sounds like a lot, because I guess I didn't realize that you were so if the client, the person using drugs or alcohol, was enrolled in this program, your services were given to their loved ones.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
The loved ones are... that's what I struggle with, because I have so many loved ones that reach out to me. And honestly, I've got a pretty good trick to it, so this is what I do now. And it's not like in a bad way, but it's me being serious, because they'll call and they'll say, I don't know what to do. This is what's happening. This is the person I love. This is what they're going through. And then I explain to them how a Marchman Act works.
Yep.
And that's often the last time I hear from them, because they don't want to follow through with the Marchman Act. If you guys don't know what that is, so basically there's a Baker Act, which is like a 72-hour hold for those having a psychiatric breakdown.
And yes, we know that drug addicts are very manipulative. So sometimes they get out of that really quickly. They don't have to stay the full 72. If they're really good at conning, they'll let them go. So it's a very, push-pull, but that is... Everyone should know that that's available.
Right. So the Baker Act's available, and then the Marchman Act's available. Now, the Marchman Act is fire. I love that thing. I think it is brilliant. And so basically what you do, and I have done it to people I love before, you go to the courthouse, and I can only speak for Florida, though it's in many states. In Florida, you go to the courthouse, you get a $7 Marchman Act packet. You write all the things about how they are basically incapable of getting themselves services because they're so far gone. They're too far gone to get help.
Yep.
Right. And so you just have to show that photos, overdose reports, whatever. You submit it. A couple of days later, they got to go to court. You got to go to court. They got to go get an assessment done. And if any of these things they don't show up for,
they're in trouble.
Right to jail. What is that? TikTok, right to jail. And it holds them accountable. You can drop it at any time.
Yep.
It doesn't go on their record. They go in front of the mental health magistrate. Most of them get sentenced to go to treatment for 90 to 6 months or something. Yep. And if they leave early, they can either go back or go to jail.
Yeah. And I think everyone should know that that is available to them, because I don't think that a lot of people do know that that is an option.
They're scared.
Yeah. And they also don't want to get their kids in trouble. Right. And it's like, okay, your kid's getting in trouble. Right. Yeah, your kid is homeless right now.
He's going to die.
Right. So I think that is definitely everyone should know. Everyone should know. You utilize it if you can. If you don't know about it in your state, look it up. But yes.
So, okay. So how long were you doing that for? Like a year or couple years?
Yeah, a couple of years. It was probably about 3-ish. Yeah.
Any clients stick out in your head?
Oh man, it's really difficult being virtual, because, you hop on a screen, like on your screen, and they never expect to see me, right? So I'll get on and it'll be like their mom, the dad, and then the client will sometimes be there and they'll be like, that's what you look like? And it's like, what did you think that I looked like? And I know my voice definitely doesn't, paint the picture, but it was, they say some crazy things to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to talk about like craziest things that ever happened with a client, I mean, it's going to be dirty.
What happened? Tell us, Victoria. I need a good laugh today. I really do.
So I was, I was operations manager at, I'll just say an IOP, and this kid kept calling, right? It was a Friday night. He wanted to go to the hospital. Legally, I can't not take him to the hospital. So all I asked was, why does he want to go to the hospital? And the kid would just start freaking out, like throwing a fit. So I was like, well, if he wants to go, take him. And they were like, he told us to, F off. So I was like, okay. Saturday came, same thing. I'm like, why does he want to go to the hospital? Not once saying that he couldn't go, just asking, why does he want to go?
Right.
Like if he's drug seeking, I'm going to let him know it's a waste of time. So Monday morning comes, the facilitator calls out, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I already know he's gunning for me, right? So I go in, everyone's in their circle, there's 27 of them. And I'm like, so how was everybody's weekend? And he says, fuck you, Victoria. And I said, I knew it was coming. Why don't you stand up? Tell us what's the matter. Like, let's learn how to effectively communicate, right? Because there's a problem we all have when we get sober, right? We're frustrated and we don't even know why. Like, why are you mad at me when I'm trying to help you?
Right.
Right? If you needed to go to the clinic, I would have brought you there. Like, you don't necessarily have to go to the hospital. So he goes, well, I wanted to save this so you could see it. And he stands up, and I'm like, he is not unzipping his pants. Okay. And he is. And the whole group is like, and he
in front of the whole group
whips it out, and he has an abscess on the head of his thing. And the whole group is like,
oh my God.
And I'm like, sir, you didn't think, not one moment, it wasn't a rational thought to say, I have an open wound on my thing and I'd like to go to the hospital. You thought that was the spite move to make to me. I was like, because now I have to refer you out to mental health because that is not normal. Why do you have that also? And he's like, it's the main vein. What do you think I was? I was like, oh, what? Now, I was working for the DA's office in New York, just for the record.
What?
Yes. So I was going to the precincts and picking up addicts and telling them, if you go to treatment, this won't go on your record. That was a lot easier than what I went to. I came here and was not ready for what the world that was like existing here in treatment like.
Oh my God.
I thought I was making a good change. And I was slapped in the face. Like the things that they would say, I was like, I mean, I was out there, right? I went to Rikers Island. I understand, right? And I love that you said I'm a breath of fresh air. I come from a dump, literally. So I appreciate that. But I get it. But here there is like, it's the epitome of no fucks given.
Yeah.
No one cares. They'll tell you anything. And now it's like I do confessionals, it feels like, so I'm doing clinical assessments all day to people that want help. But they think that they could just tell me all their deepest, darkest secrets. And
they dump
like,
it all.
You really got to be spiritually fit, right?
Yes.
I got to be able to leave and say, okay, to my God, like you take it away from me, right? Take it off of me for them, for me, because whoa. But yeah, I think that the world is in a pretty fucked place. Mm-hmm. We don't have enough help. Mm-mm. And I don't think that anybody's talking about like what's really going on out there. Like where people are like dying all the time.
Like way more than they even were a couple years ago. Yeah. Like way more. And now even with the Tranq, which, is crazy in the Northeast. But, when I checked out last year's overdoses reports for Palm Beach County, I saw a lot of xylazine in there. And so basically what they're doing is they mix the xylazine with the fentanyl and they call it Tranq. And because xylazine is a animal tranquilizer, a pretty strong animal tranquilizer. And basically, like in Philly, you can't buy dope without it in it, period. You're just doing Tranq. And so what it does is it eats your skin away or your muscular, whatever. Like you can see these people's bones, okay? It has eaten through their bodies.
Can you imagine?
Hell no!
I have never been so high and thought, that's a consequence I'm willing to go for.
Right. A lost leg. And they're all over Kensington with like missing limbs and stuff like that. Like it's what my best friend does outreach up there. And basically all they do is move people over. They do wound care. They got to bring the intramuscular Narcan because nasal Narcan doesn't work on the Tranq. And so, and it's headed to a city near you, it's just going to keep.
And no one knows about it. That's the thing. Like nobody's talking about this stuff.
Nobody.
We're talking about everything that doesn't matter, all the lies everyone wants to tell. But the reality is that everyone that is losing somebody to this war every single day. And it is a war, right? Like a person is a hostage to a bottle or a substance. It's very simple. I've never seen a good hostage situation. I've never seen a hostage like be thrilled about it, and they don't even know that it's happening. So it's like, what are we supposed to do? And I have to tell more people that I can't help them than I can help them, which is even sadder.
Me too. It's the worst part of my day.
The worst part of it all.
Yeah, I was just telling them a story about work and I'm not even going to get into it, but it's just, and that's why I can't promise anybody anything. I can promise that I'll give you the resources that I have and I can hold your hand on the way to call these people and see if it can make something happen, but I can't promise any of it because it's out of my control.
We're
at
in
that
there.
point.
We're out there. We're literally in it with them. And I think that that's doing more for them than they have, right?
Right.
Like most of people that I have to say no to, they just need a conversation for the moment, right? They need to know like, listen, it's going to suck, right? Like life is going to suck. It's going to hurt really bad. And then it's going to be okay if you just hang in and they just feel okay, right? Like they just need to know that somebody's there, that somebody has survived it. I think that a lot of people struggle with forgiveness, right? Like a lot of addicts that I talk to can't forgive what happened to them or can't forgive themselves, what they've done or what they've lost. And you just need to like let people know, like the people that you love, like, I'm sorry that happened, right? I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
That's all they need to know. Like people are living like in the past. They're stuck there because their brain is really there. Yeah. And, a lot of people judge addicts and alcoholics, but they're doing what everybody wants to do, right? They're numbing their pain to the point that they don't have to feel it. Unfortunately, they get stuck there.
Yeah.
But I think that all humans should do the 12 steps. I don't think that it should just be addicts and alcoholics. I think,
everybody needs it.
Yeah, if you're not an addict and alcoholic and you're walking around with resentment, it will manifest in your body as cancer and you will die too. So it's like we should all just do it, get it out, talk about it. But that's really, my take on it.
Yeah, and even with alcohol, I was like, I wonder if there's as many alcoholics in every family as there are in mine. Like, is that normal? Like, does everyone grow up around so much alcohol?
Yep.
And because we know that alcohol kills more people than opiates even does every year. I mean,
most dangerous.
It is poison. Yep. Every time you drink, you're putting poison into your body. And I just can't. And I know it sounds
it's everywhere
like a person that's ranting against alcohol, but I don't even care. Do regular drugs. I think drugs are safer than
100%.
I'm like, you know what I mean?
When they call in and they're like, I'm drinking, a fifth or a liter a day, and I'm just gonna stop. I'm like, no. Right. You can't just stop. Like alcohol is. They're like, it's legal. I'm like, I understand. I'm like, it's also one of the two that will kill you, right? Like opiate withdrawals suck. It's hell on earth. You're gonna feel like you have cockroaches coming out of your skin. Everything's gonna be moving and like whatever, but you're not gonna die. Right. That's the thing.
Right. You're just gonna feel like it.
Alcohol, you will seize. And when we're talking about seize today, this is not the seizure we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So let's focus here. But
when we talk about seize the day,
that's not the seize. It's not the seize we're doing, folks.
Right.
But I don't think that people are educated. No one told me. I don't. Maybe somebody told you, but nobody said, "Hey, don't do drugs." Because you might really fall in love.
Bro, no one told me. I remember being in jail and being like, no one told me I'd get in so much trouble for selling drugs. Like, where was that DARE representative telling me that, like, hey, if you... And maybe they think that it goes without saying, but to me...
No hope and dope wasn't... It didn't work. It didn't work.
No, that didn't work at all.
I did find hope there, I thought, for a long time. That was the problem.
For the beginning, yes. Lots of hope in the beginning. I like this idea. Yeah. This is feeling right.
Yeah. And if honestly, if they really want to go back, then fix it, then, start educating kids on coping mechanisms.
Yes. Right? Yeah. And how to deal with life and be resilient. That's what I was talking about, to Christina about. It's all about your resiliency and your ability to adapt and change and just deal with the bullshit that we're dealt, because we're all going to be dealt shitty cards.
100%. I mean, it comes with
some get more than others.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. But
good things happen to bad people. It's very simple, right? Like we could go about it however, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to lose people that we love. Grief is the most fucked up emotion that the human heart has to feel. I hate it for anybody. Like, it's so overwhelming for a human, right? Your heart isn't made to hold that, and we hold it because we don't know what to do with it. So why don't we start teaching them? We're learning about Christopher Columbus. Okay, well, why don't you teach us what to do when we discover an anxiety attack?
Right.
Because
what do you think we should do, Victoria? Tell us. You're the psychology major.
I wish I could, but it depends. Like, catch a breath, right?
Yeah, I'm big on my breathing.
Like, nobody ever told me that it was going to be so crucial, like, to be breathing.
Yeah.
Right? What do I do when I get nervous? I literally stop breathing, even to this day. Like, it's such a, and I get stuck there. And that's like the story of my life is I'm always stuck, right? So how do I get unstuck, right? Ask for help. Yeah. Right. Like, I grew up in a family and I love my family. Shout out to my mom, Yvonne. Right. But she, what happens behind closed doors stays there.
Yeah.
And while that is, a logical plan of action for their time, that's not what works, right? Because when I'm out there in the real world and I have things that I want to say and talk about, I have to be able to do that. I have to know, like, I'm safe. So now I think that the only place is behind those closed doors. And sometimes for a lot of people, that isn't the safety zone, right?
Oh, so not for me growing up.
Yeah. So I think we have to teach people how to do those things. And I think, I've called the schools here and I said that I would go in there and, like, at least, start a program where kids knew what anxiety was, know what depression is, know what the signs are. And they were like, we don't have the budget. I said, okay, I'll do it for free. Yeah. And they will not answer me. They will not answer me.
Well, Florida has like the worst mental health. I think we're like literally number 23 out of we're way down there.
I'm gonna say it shows.
Health. Yeah, it shows. Florida, man, it shows. I know. We can tell, Florida. We know. But breathing for me, because when I was younger, my dad, whatever, we all have our families. But at night, my dad would love to like listen to drum corps music or, people are happy and they're very upset, whatever. So to go to bed, it would be all about my breathing. I would just like picture just blackness, darkness, and like focus on my breath at like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And it's been the best coping mechanism I've ever taught myself in my life because I use it all the time.
And it took me like 3 decades to learn this, right? So we don't have to wait that long, folks.
Right.
You know, like,
no, I think it's great.
Why are we not
that.
teaching kids that they have to like really focus on their breathing, right? Like we freak out like as a human, you know, when we panic.
Right.
Why is nobody telling us like, okay, it's okay, breathe, right? Yeah. And you don't get it. You just, you know, you're taught to soothe yourself. So when you're forced to go into this world that is so big and has so many options,
so complex, and so many
there's
things
so many
are
things you
happening.
could comfort yourself with. Yeah, sure. You know what? Valium does sound like a good idea.
Or food.
Yeah.
Or sex.
Anything.
With my friends, whatever, you know, dog. I don't know. People are messed up, yo.
Plunging shit, you know, whatever we do here. But yeah, people are sick in their own ways. And I think that, you know, the world really needs to look around because it's not just drugs and alcohol, right? Well, this is how we are comforting ourselves, right? Yeah. This is where all, like, we have this anxiety that's embedded in us now. And now it's like, if you don't have mental health issues, you're not cool. And it's like, that's a problem too.
Yeah. Cause I was going to say, when you're talking about the kids, I said, my little sister, I saw her one day. She's like, I can't deal with this anymore. I said, well, you're going to get, I'm going to kill myself. I was like, whoa, oh my gosh. Are you kidding me right now? And I said, Dad, what is going on with the kid?
Yeah.
What do we got to do? She's going to like kill herself. Right. Like she's very upset. Like, why are the kids? But all the kids are very depressed like and they have a lot of anxiety. And I don't know if it's like the phones that we didn't have these when we were in school or the social media. I don't know what it is, but they have a lot of mental health going on.
Yeah. And I think it's worse for them.
Right. Because they know they have the mental health condition, but they don't know what to do about it.
Yeah. I didn't have the internet. Like it was not a time for me. We were not Googling all this stuff. We were just doing it, you know?
Figuring
like,
it out. Yeah. That's why we didn't know opiates cause withdrawals because there was no internet and we were just told that they were good.
Well, we woke up one day. It was like, you have the flu. It's like, I don't think this is the flu. I think this is far worse, actually.
Oh, I did drugs and it felt better.
Yeah.
That's weird. When I don't have these, I don't feel very well. Oh, okay. Well, I'll make sure I'll have them every day forever.
Right. And why didn't they tell me that I was going to have an addiction to these things? Right. It was like, no, the Valium was like supposed to help all of my problems. And it did, right? It's a little too much. But
you forgot all about them. You forgot everything.
All of a sudden, I can't come off of it because I'm going to have seizures from this too. I mean, it was like one thing after another. And it's like, okay, well, we should probably tell people, hey, this can help you, but it can kill you.
Right. Here are also the side effects.
Yeah. Working out, right? Like we might not want to do it, but why don't we not tell people like how good it is for them? Like it will help you with your stress. Right. You might have high blood pressure. It will help you with that. Like there's all these things that no one, I feel like, taught us. And why are we learning about Christopher Columbus still?
They really don't ever touch on the health thing. Even when COVID was happening, I was like, why are we not telling people to eat well, go outside, exercise? Like even my dad got a new job where he's walking all the time. So now that he's back, which he loved. So he's back to walking out of the van, his work van, and he's dropped like 20, 30 pounds. He's so excited.
Can't wait to meet Francis.
Yeah, Francis. And so, but because of that, he stopped taking his high blood pressure, his cholesterol, because all of his stuff is better because he drinks a gallon of water a day and moves and walks and does things like that. Yeah. Like sometimes it's that simple.
All the energy, right? Like it sounds so weird. Like people would talk to me about energy and I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. This hippie stuff isn't it, but it's all energy.
Yeah, I know.
Like the energy in your body, if it's stagnant, you're going to be stagnant too, right? If it's moving and grooving, you're going to be moving and grooving. Like it's, you know, it's all this like vibrations and we're just like, you know, I was high for a long time.
Yeah.
I blacked out for years. Like
Did you? Alcohol was your thing?
Oh, what was it? I mean, you name it.
I was a garbage head.
Yeah. I mean, I started with the pills. They were my favorite. And then add the cocaine, you know, had to level out a little bit and go to work on Wall Street. And, you know, then it was the alcohol was like, the alcohol was where it took a turn.
I'm so mad at us for being so late.
Yeah.
Because our podcast is already over. We got to come back next week.
It's all right. We'll be here.
Another one. We'll be here forever, hopefully. Well, not forever,
this is the start. We're going on to bigger things.
We might be working at a printing company soon.
Absolutely.
So, God willing, $87,000 a year. I'll take it.
God willing.
See ya.
Even live wood, you know?
Christian, how much longer we got? 2.
Oh, right on time.
Christian's in all of our podcasts now, so he has to stay in South Florida because we mention him so often.
He's leaving?
I don't know. He's from Cleveland. Who wants to go back to Ohio?
Cleveland?
Nobody wants to live there.
Yeah, why would you? What's there, your family?
Does he have a girlfriend there?
Oh.
Christian, single. How old are you?
Ladies.
26.
26.
Oh, ladies.
You still on your parents' health insurance?
I'm old enough to party. That's all you need to know.
You've heard it here first, folks.
Christian, come
And he's
see
a
him.
nice guy.
It's cute. Got a cute smile.
Yeah,
It's got a nice head of hair.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. So if anybody DM me, I'll hook you up with Christian. Yeah? Okay. Oh my gosh, Victoria. Well, I'm so glad that we got to connect again. I love your energy. I'm sure even though this was like only like a half hour, I'm sure everyone's just going to enjoy it. I didn't know you worked on Wall Street?
Oh, yeah.
What did you do?
Oh my God. Well, a lot of administrative work, but and I was administering cocaine definitely in high doses myself. But I was also doing a news show on the internet. So
What?
so I would be, oh God, I probably shouldn't say these things out loud.
Oh God.
I was definitely a little yipped up on a few episodes, I'd be partying all night. It was, why go home,
Did you get yourself a Wolf of Wall Street or what?
No, I was in the only company where they did not do cocaine, but I knew everybody that did, where I had to go was walking distance. So, sometimes I would show up to the early AA meeting, and then I would party all night long and then do it again because I needed my license. The DMV in New York State deemed me unsafe to drive for 6 years because drinking and driving is illegal, everyone. It's illegal.
In case no one told you in middle school.
Now you know. But I worked on Wall Street. Yeah, I definitely had a journey.
Victoria's telling me one day, she goes, yeah, they pulled me over. And when I got out, I start running.
In my high.
Like they all don't know where I live.
I mean, I was on a lot of drugs and alcohol. I didn't think that I was ever stop, honestly.
Wow. How long did you use for before you stopped?
Oh my God. So I would say I got sober one time for 13 months before this time, but I got sober this time for Judge Solomon. So just
shout out Judge Solomon.
Yes, just to be clear, that was the only reason.
You knew your name. You're a good guy. My Judge Labargo is a good guy too. So thank you.
Saved my life.
Yeah, mine too.
I had no intention of staying sober. It was like this guy, I knew he was on my ass. I knew he was going to send me to Rikers. He made it very well known. And I said, all right, I'll do it. And the longer I just sat in these meetings and went to the therapy, the more it made sense.
Yeah.
Like I really am I'm so hurt, right? I'm so hurt, and I've been just hurting myself and everyone around me, and it was terrible. But so anybody listening, you don't have to live like that. Call us. We'll make you laugh. If for anything, we'll make you laugh.
Right.
But I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll have to come back in like a week or so and we'll talk more because I love it. I want to know all about you working at the DA and all that fun stuff. If you're still drinking then going inside the jails, like, come on, kid, you got to get into drug court.
No. That was like the newly sober Victoria.
I love it. I love it. All right, everyone. Well, guess what? If no one told you guys today they love you, we do. Thank you. Yep. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Listen to us everywhere that you get your podcasts, on Spotify, Apple Play, Google Play, Amazon Play. I don't know, wherever they play things, you can find it.
Back Alley Chat.
YouTube. Give us a subscribe, a like, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening.